Hey guys and girls, thanks for joining me for another episode on all things electronic. Since we went over light bars last week, I've got another very popular brand light bar here. I want to break this one open. I'm kind of curious to see if it kind of matches what we looked at last week, which was a Chinese-made light bar. So I want to see how close in comparison inside one of these is. Not here to hurt anybody's feelings on brand names. I mean, you probably know what it is right off the bat, but we'll just go ahead and not say it. Don't want to get in trouble for that. But let's go ahead and tear this one down. Let's look inside of it, take a look, and see what runs this one. On this one, I just want to let you guys know right off the bat, this isn't a very old model. On this dash light, it does have an on and off switch in the rear of it. It is made for a cigarette lighter, or you can hardwire it in. It does have just two wires into it, positive and negative. But this one right here, I've already had to fix this one with some black electrical tape. So it doesn't show very promising, especially with just the plug. Unscrewing the head of this plug, it looks kind of cheaply made. You've got a clear plastic top on it that just doesn't look like it's very, very high quality plastic on it. You can already see some stress cracks that are in it. The inside of it, it doesn't feel solid. It feels cheaply made to me. So that's one thing that before I even crack into this light, this dash light, that I'm noticing about just the plug in general that we're using to plug it in to operate the dash light. So let's tear this thing apart and see what's inside. We're going to start by unloosening this suction cup mount, seeing if we can get this out of the way. Suction cup mount seems pretty sturdy. It's pretty thick. I have on there. Let's see what else we need to remove. Let's go ahead and see if we can pull these off. Screws come off fairly easy. Well, that was graceful. Alright, we've got this suction cup mount part off. I didn't lose all the screws in it, so I've got all the screws here. One thing I guess you'll notice on the suction cup mount part, it looks like the plastic is already starting to break away from the molded housing. Another thing that you'll notice here, it looks like the flashback shield is either warped from the sun being up in the visor, or something, or they just didn't do it right. So yeah, if you look at that, it's got a nice little gap there. Let's remove this splashback shield here. Now, the flashback shield is removed, so now you've got just the light assembly itself. I went ahead and removed the sticker that way. Like I said, I don't want to point any names. Don't want to get in trouble for slamming a company. I just want to see if the Chinese ones are, if the American-made ones are just as good as the Chinese ones, or better. They say that they're better because they're made in the USA, but let's really tear this thing apart. Let's look at some of the components. Let's look at some of the manufacturers that they use. On the back, you'll notice that it does have a button for changing flash patterns. On here, on this opposite side, it is just an open hole, so there's nothing there. So let's crack this baby open and see if we can find out what's inside of it. I've undone the 3 bolts that they've had in this to hold it together. You had one here, and then you've had one here as well. So we've got those three off, so let's crack open the case and see what we got here. Okay. So right off the bat, after we crack open the case, you'll notice, well, these are loose. These are not actually even held in by anything. Let's see if I can turn the back around here. You'll notice that there's, it looks like the light heads with some resistors on them, so they're already stepped down for the voltage that's going to be going through those for the LEDs. So they've already got resistors on the LEDs, but they're just kind of laid down in there. And the driver board is laid down in there as well. What's actually surprising is that these boards are not what I expected. If you take a look at this, all of the remaining flux that's on there, it looks horrible. It doesn't look like they've spent a lot of time on prettying it up, but of course, you know, this is on the inside, so it doesn't have to be show-proof, but I mean, I guess it doesn't have to be for a show here. You can remove the lens housing, removes real easy. Inside there, they've got the module lights. They've got the nice little reflector in there. But what I'm noticing too, look on the back of this board. It's nasty and all crusty. It's not something that I would expect from this company. I figured it would be in a little bit cleaner. The parts on it are basically the same parts that the other company was using as well. Now you've got some MOSFETs up here. Let me get you zoomed in there so you can see these MOSFETs. Let me see. Come on. Focus for me. There you go. You got two MOSFETs, and those are going to be for each module. Bank of resistors. It looks like you've got a capacitor for each one of the microprocessors. And that's what's funny is this thing has got two, it looks like microprocessors on it. One of them I know is a microprocessor, and it's going to be that one. See if I can get you a number on that. Let's see if I can get this. There you go. So I know that's a microprocessor, and then you've got an Atmel chip on here as well. And this is the one, I'm not sure why they have this one on there. Let's see if we can get that one in there. Come on, focus for me. There you go. But I've looked up the schematics on these chips, and I'll post a clip of them on this video. It doesn't say where the board was made, so we can't, I guess, bust those myths where they say made in the USA, and then when you open it up, it says made in China. But you should have an internal EEPROM that you can write to, so that way whenever you select your flash pattern, it automatically memorizes that and it writes it, so when you unplug it and plug it back in, then it saves it. So I'm not thinking that that's what that is. I'm not sure why they put two of them on there, so if you guys have any suggestions on why they stuck two of them on there, and they're different, you've got an Atmel and then you've got the micro. If you guys have any answers on that, on why they stuck two different ones on there, definitely leave it in the comments below. But yeah, I'll put up some of the components that they are using on here. But all in all, I'm not really impressed. It cost way more than the Chinese brand and just having it sent overseas. just because it says it's made in the USA, but I don't see the quality in here, and I don't see the quality parts. You'd figure that they'd use, super high-end parts on these. If the amount that it costs, the last time I looked one of these up, it was up over $200 for one of these. And as you notice too, this is what's funny is the first time I've cracked this open to look inside of it, you have 3 screws in this light head that are in there. So the 4th one looks like it's busted off. If you can see it, let's see. It looks like the screw head is either busted off, or yeah, that's a screw head that's busted off in there. But on this one, you only get 2 screws. You only have one here and one here that's holding this PCB inside of this housing. Let's go ahead and let's take this off, because I'm curious to see what LEDs they're using here. Let's see if I need a smaller screwdriver. Let me get a different head on this one, because this just is actually, it shocks me that I'm not seeing the quality here that I thought I would be. So let's unscrew this. Yeah, let's unscrew this one. Let's look at the LEDs that are in here. It looks like the exact same LEDs that are in the other one as well. These don't look like a 3rd generation LED. These aren't a high powered LED, and we'll let you guys get close up to those. So if you look back at the first video, these LEDs look identical to the ones in the Chinese made light bar. So I don't see any difference there at all. But like I said, I'll post a couple things. If you guys know any reason why they put two different chips on here, one of them's got to be for the microprocessor for controlling the flash patterns. But I wouldn't think they would stick another one on here for memory when you unplugged it and plugged it back in. I figure that one, just like the AT Tiny's, would have the capability of keeping a memory. So if you know that, leave a comment below, like, and definitely subscribe to the channel. We'll definitely be tearing apart a bunch more things and building some projects with Arduinos. And actually, the next video I want to see if we can make one of these controllers, and see actually how much for one of the controllers and for one of the bars, how much it'll cost to actually produce this yourself and get the same quality, if not better, and see if we can do it cheaper than the other guys, and just see what it takes to go into these. So like I said, thank you guys for watching. Please click subscribe and like, and leave some comments below. It definitely help me out. Thanks.